Is there one victory over another that comes to the top of the list? There were so many for you, but
I probably won over 1,000 races or 1,500, whatever, and so you'd have to say at least half of them would have been my favorite.
The next track is that's my next question. I mean, did you have a favorite racetrack or favorite racetracks?
There's places I enjoyed more than others. Usually mine were the ones that were the hardest places to figure out and get around.
Was Eldora Speedway a hard place to figure out?
Yes and no. It's a different track than it was.
Sure.
I mean, it used to be like, if you weren't on the fence, you weren't going to win.
Right.
I've seen them win right around the inside that used to be concrete underneath there. To me, Eldora's lost a lot of character.
Yeah. Did that place tend to ratchet up your nerves a little more than some of the other ones? I mean, you guys are 130, 40 mile an hour sprint cars at Eldora. Seems scary to me.
Well, I mean, it's like the faster they went, the fewer people I had to race with. You know, because some people, you know, I would say a lot of people, if you could have it, be like 120 mile an hour rev limiter on the driver. Then they're like, oh crap. Well, we go to the miles and run 185.
No thanks.
Fewer people you had to race with. So I just enjoyed going fast.
I guess it weeded out some of the competition. I mean, the concentration lap after lap of planting that car 6 inches off the wall and keeping it there. Mm-hmm. I never understood how you guys did that, but you did it.
Yeah. Well, that's a problem a lot of guys had when we went from running wing and non-wing stuff. It's like somebody that you get in the wing car and you make it like a slot car and you just drive straight in there like you would almost be on pavement. You know, but guys would have to like twitch their cars and they'd slip the tires, shear the tires, and it would take a bit for it to rehook up. But some of them guys didn't make it from that era. They could do good in a non-wing car and they could do just okay in the wing car.
Give me a couple tracks that were favorites of yours.
Well, I liked Eldora when Earl Baltes had it.
Yeah. Did you get along okay with Earl Baltes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, real good. Yeah, I like running Knoxville.
Did you ever run Ascot?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. That one was a bit I mean, there's not too many I don't like. And
your favorite track is the next one on the schedule, right?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's just some places that the area or the racetrack and just things there, being able to have some place that has good food after the races or before the races. Or
I always thought Eldora had good food, good concession food.
Yeah.
In both eras. What's different about the track from the Earl Baltes era to the Tony Stewart era?
Well, a lot of the banking's gone.
Okay.
Because what they did was make it sort of like even from the top to the bottom. So the bottom has a little bit of bank to it, where it used to be you could only go so far, and then you had that concrete pad. And it used to be kind of dished out. To where like the further up you got, the more bank you had. Well, now it's like it has the same banking pretty much around it. So it just depends on where the grip level is.
And like you said, now, if the track is particularly tacky all night, on like a cool spring night or something, and they've had rain, you know, they're the banking the same as it is. You watch them run faster on the bottom now. That didn't used to be.
Yeah, well, it has to have a nice cushion to run against at the top, because the top's further around now.
Okay.
So you can be going 50 miles an hour faster around the bottom sometimes, and it's quicker. It's not the same place.
So what does 2023 look like for you? I mean, do you have races you'll be... I know you're not retired because you said you're going to Colorado next week to race a 360 sprint car?
Yeah.
So what's your season ahead look like? I mean, what do you have it mapped out?
Yeah, there's probably right now 15 nights or so. 15?
Yeah. That you'll be driving someone else's car?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking sprint cars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then a pavement midget wing car.
Where's that at?
That's in Seekonk.
Seekonk?
It's near Boston.
Oh, did you say
It's in Rhode Island.
a winged pavement midget?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I've been doing that for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Run a race or so.
I did see in the news where you were down south helping Kaylee Bryson get familiar with winged sprint car racing. How'd that go for you?
For her never running one before and then not being that old, I mean, she could realize, you could go back and, well, you did this here, did this, and it's like, yep. You just tell me what you're feeling, and I'll try to make it where it's more comfortable for you.
Sure.
And so we had to do some things a little different till she got up to a certain, part to carry something else. But she did a great job. I mean, she was racing right wheel to wheel with people and right on the fence when she needed at times, and so she's got some talent.
Yeah, that's great. So you're going to be 68 years young. Do I have that right? In October?
October. Mm-hmm.
How much longer can you go? Will you go? Do you want to go? I mean,
I don't know. You
don't know. I mean, do you ever think about like doing the Ken Schrader thing? Go buy an open wheel modified and go play and have fun? And
I don't know. It's hard when you're used to running something that's as fast. It's like hard to get off a rocket and get on a mule.
Well, how much longer do you think you can go, or that you want to go?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, fair enough. You grew up in the Memphis area. You've been gone for 50 plus years.
Yeah.
Now you're not racing. You mentioned 15 nights this year. Now you're not racing as much, so you're home. Is it fun to be home? Like come home and be here and do things that normal people do outside of racing?
Yeah, some, but then sometimes it gets real boring right away too.
I bet.
So I don't know where to land.
Racing is all you want.
On the Star Trek, you're going where no man's gone before.
Sure.
So I don't know. But when I don't have the desire, or I don't have the, my body won't do what I need to do or what I want to do.
Yeah. Is it something you just can't shake off? I mean, racing has been such a big part of who you are, your identity, your world. I mean, yeah, you can go sit on a boat and go fish and you can relax and slow down a bit, but I get that you just can't shake the racing thing.
Well, I don't have something else that I want to do that would take up a whole year.
Sure.
Or all the time. It might be this year, halfway through or something. I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
The part I don't like to do is driving down the highway anymore.
I hear you.
For all this.
You did enough of that.
Yep. So, it's nice to go somewhere, but then it's been okay. I've been down to Florida 3 times this year already.
Are you spending some time traveling to Texas to see your granddaughter play, I don't know, volleyball? Or
Yeah, we've done that. And then she wanted to go for her birthday, wanted to go to San Diego. Last year we went to Nassau in the Bahamas, and when I'm not there, we're watching her volleyball on the big screen TV.
Sure. Do you have any regrets in racing that you should have went this way but you went that way, or do you spend time in regret over anything?
Well, I'm not gonna let it get me down because I've been able to do so many things that nobody else gets to do, and do them in a way that nobody else gets to do. So, yeah, I could go back and say, well, if I would have had the right funding, I could have done this. There's a lot of things I would have liked to have done, but it just didn't play out.
So you don't feel like I just went 50, 60 years and all these things I missed,
The only thing I didn't get to drive that I'd like to, but I still may get to at some point, is I'd like to get in one of these F1 cars.
Ooh, where did that come from?
Well, I've been a fan for...
You're a fan of F1?
Yeah, because it's...
I know why, because there's so much technology there.
And you bring something that's like, oh, they're doing that, they're doing this.
So you just like to drive one. You know you're not going to go compete there, but you'd like to drive one.
Yeah, I'd like to drive one.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you follow F1? If it's on, you're watching it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, now a lot of times we just record it and I watch it.
If you could have your dream, one or the other, what would be a bigger deal for you? To win the Daytona 500 or the Indianapolis 500? What's a bigger deal?
Probably the Indianapolis.
I think it's the biggest race in the world.
Yeah, I got close to running there.
I know you did run an IndyCar at the Brickyard and got bumped on the final day or something from the field.
Last couple minutes.
Mm-hmm. That had to have been difficult to deal with.
Well, I just left.
Yeah.
Because there was so many people that wanted me to get in their car, which I probably would have made it. But John Butera called me and asked me to drive his car.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as his car, I said, as long as we're in the race, I'm not, these guys would come up and want me, you're getting this car, because they'd have another car and they were looking for the money to get it in the race, and felt like I was probably their best option for doing that. But to me, it was, and it went down right to, there was 2 minutes, so that we're out. Well, it takes too much time.
Sure.
He was the one that asked me to come there. I said, I'm staying here. Oh, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And I said, well, we're still in. He had that stock block, and it's the last one to run there. We were so slow down the straights, but I was in the top 10 all month.
For corner speeds?
Top 5 a lot of times.
You just didn't have the motor to get down the straightaways.
I didn't lift.
Yeah. That had to have been a white knuckler hanging onto an Indy car.
Yeah, you see the ones and they got the big wickers and the front wings are up, and mine, my right front's like a -2 degrees, and we got it all trimmed out, but it just didn't have the motor. They'd made it before when they run the gurney car that didn't have all the ground effects or the air going through the sides. But it was hard to get a gear for it because we didn't turn so much, so it's like one gear was way too high, one gear was low.
And your NASCAR career, I know you ran the truck series, you ran in the Xfinity series. You had some cup starts too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was
but it was okay.
Was that like, okay, I did it, now let me get back to my sprint car?
No, it was I got tired of somebody coming in and buying my car.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Well, the Moroso deal, I had my sprint car guys, and they had a guy and a manager there, and we put cars together and got everything ready and went down there. Because Nick Bergman called me, and he says, hey, you need to call this guy. They're testing this car. I said, okay. And we went down. It's like, the guy says, most of these guys come in, they can't even talk for 5 or 10 minutes, and they don't even know what they're talking about. He said, you just stop, call me, just tell us this or that. The guy was asking me the one time they had one guy there that was like a older crew chief. And when I first went down there, I'd go out and I said, well, the car does this. He said, how many races you run down here? How many times you been around this track? I said, this is the first time. Well, how do you know this? I said, well, I'll just let go of the wheel and see where the car goes. He said, you let go of the wheel? I said, I don't put my hands behind my head. I just
briefly.
I just kind of got my hand, just there it's.
See if the car will steer itself, essentially.
It steers in, does it go down, does it go up? What am I having to do? The part we talk about having everything slowed down, it's like, it's easier. He said, I've never had people tell me that.
That's interesting.
They're going to say, it's pushing us loose.
Yeah.
Well, I break the corner down into 3-4 segments.
Did you get the respect you thought you would have deserved from those cup drivers when you were... No, you weren't there long, but did you feel like you had earned their respect coming in, or I don't know what they thought of the sprint car guy coming in?
Yeah, some. I got along real well with some of the guys.
Yeah.
And they were interested in knowing about what I'd done or what I was doing.
Yeah. Because those cup guys, they do pay attention to what the sprint car guys are doing.
Yeah.
They don't know everything about it, but they're paying attention.
Now it's a whole different group of people. But,
oh, sure.
But when I was there, that's when the money was really starting to get really good.
Yeah.
So it's to say that nobody wants to lose their seat. So they're like Buddy Baker, he told me, it takes 20, 30 years of driving these cars to figure it out. And I said, buddy, these are the easiest cars I ever drove.
Yeah. Try climbing in a sprint car.
I said, I just need to be in the best one.
Yeah, and you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you ever have a conversation with Dale Earnhardt Sr.?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a little funny relationship there, but it was like when I was down there with the Busch car, would have been then.
Mm-hmm.
And with Old Milwaukee, they built a new car, and Robert G., which was kin to the Earnhardts, and he built this really trick body, and this car was, so me and my guys from the sprint car, we went and finished it up, and we did a few things that they really didn't catch or get on to, but I'm going to come out, because I'd only ran there the year before, and that was a car that was left in the building that Beetle wound up.
Raymond Beetle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a car, it was a wide car, and we went down there, and I ran like 16th in a car that I'm running against guys' cars that are 8 inches narrower. And we just run, hang on. You know, I couldn't do anything but hang on, but stayed out of trouble. And
But I bet you would have liked to have gotten in a really top-notch ride just to see where it could have went.
Well, the next year that car was a lot better.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I couldn't really get any good person to draft with me.
Yeah.
And I had a guy from the Jeff Bodine deal, and he was winning most of those races. They came over, a guy had a rag, he had a carburetor, and he says, here, put this on, but you don't know where it came from. And we put that on. We went from being like 16th to 10th to being one of the fastest cars.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could just run up on people, and so I come out the one time in Earnhardt there, he was like waiting or whatever, and so I just run up behind him. He's like waving, no. I'm like, come on, go, let's go. And he's like, wait, no. So I guess I pissed him off. So it's like, I might as well go hit up or pick on the baddest guy in the infield.
Yeah.
And finally he took off. And at first we went all the way around the top, about 2 laps, right against the fence. And I'm just pushing, and then he's like, come on a little closer and get up there. And I'm like bumping on him. Then we went down to the bottom, ran like 2 or 3 laps. And I'm right on him. So then he like kind of waves and he pulls down, and I go by and he goes, wait, like right on me. It's like, well, here's where we figure out if I make it or not. And I mean, we're going in the corner and he's bumping me. And this car is moving around, bumping, and it's like, so anyway, we both survived that.
It's good. Good to know.
I see him, he's like, his open face, so you can see him grinning. He's like waving, he goes to pull down. I was going to pull down. We pulled around there. Yes, I don't know if he liked it or not. I see him get out. He was over there. He gets out and he walks straight to me. And he said, you did a pretty good job. I tried to rattle the hell out of you. I always try to go after the best one.
Sure.
For advice or whatever. I said, there was an opportunity. I had to push for it. I had to fight for it. He walks up there and grabs me around the neck. It's like, was he going to, hey, you're all right.
Well, that's what you want to hear from Dale Earnhardt when you're in that league.
Yeah.
Rather than a headlock and a noogie on the head or something.
Yeah. Well, I know it was like the next year, this guy bought it and this other guy built a motor for it, and it wasn't very good, but he come out of the pits and he seen me. I was stuck out there by myself. He slowed down. And he took off. And he's like, come on. And he'd slow down. He took off.
That's cool.
And I'm like, held up both hands. It's like, this is as fast as it goes. And he's like, okay. And it just like drove away.
Oh, wow. That's a cool story. Who do you have your eye on today that, man, that dude is good? He's going places. Is there anyone that comes to mind?